Well, welcome back. Clay Embry joins the Sports Connection. He's a senior for the Butler County Bears, and he scored 6 touchdowns last week against Breckenridge. Clay, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
How are you, Clay? Good to see you.
Now, you do a little bit of it all on the for your team. Kind of talk about that. I know you do a little running back, a little receiver. Talk about that.
I think that I could play in just about any skill position other than quarterback because I can't throw. But I just go wherever my coach needs me to go. You know, I'm just there to fill a spot for the team.
Now, Clay, come on. 6 touchdowns in one game. I mean, at what point in that game did you say, man, this is really adding up? I mean, 6 touchdowns. That's incredible.
Thank you.
And 2 of them were on what, punt returns?
Yes, sir.
I mean, that had to be exciting for you.
Yeah, it was extremely exciting.
Now, did you talk to your special team guys? Because obviously, to return a punt coast to coast, you got to have some guys out there blocking for you. Talk a little bit about the guys on the offensive line that block for you, and also, you know, the special teams.
Well, I didn't have to instruct them on anything. They knew exactly what to do. Just because of our coaching, we know what to do. And, I mean, the 6 touchdowns, obviously I had a great team to back me up or I wouldn't have been able to do it.
You know, just think about that. 6 touchdowns. At any point, did you realize in your head, like, man, okay, I've scored 2, I've scored 3, 4, and then lose track? Or is it just one of those things you're playing the game, you don't even try to think about how many you've scored yourself?
Well, I knew I had a couple, but I didn't know that it was exactly 6 until later on in the third quarter.
Now, I guess you'd think 6 touchdowns. Most people might think it's got to be a school record, but you actually only tied the school record.
Yeah, I just tied it, but hopefully we'll get back to it and I'll beat it. But if I don't, as long as we have a good season, I'll be all right.
I like that. He's got something to shoot for now. Number 7, you know.
Why not?
You know, Clay, you also are a multi-sport athlete. And we were talking earlier before the show started. You run track and field, and obviously that certainly helps you in as a back and your running. Just kind of talk a little bit about, you know, being able to run track and field and how that applies to football for you.
Well, it's always good to have something to do in the off season to keep you out of trouble, and it keeps me in shape, and I mean it teaches you things. It teaches you how to push through when you're tired, or maybe if you have a small injury, it teaches you how to push through.
Was track something you're interested in, or is that something maybe coaches at a younger age said, hey, you know, in the off season, why don't you look at doing track? Because I know a lot of football players will do track. Some might do kind of more the shot put type of stuff or throw disc. But was that always something you wanted to do, or just something your coaches said, hey, why don't you try this out?
Well, my freshman year, I became friends with some of the seniors, and they were going to be on the track team. They thought we'd make a good 4x1 team. So I went out, and we did pretty good, and I just kept with it.
Now, you got to be extremely excited being a senior, starting off the season 2-0. Kind of talk a little bit about, from a player's perspective, you know, what practice has been like and just kind of the morale of the team and how excited you guys are to continue this winning streak.
Well, of course, practice has been hard. Coach Bivens has pushed us since the very end of last season to keep on, and we've pushed through, and I mean, we're all extremely excited, but we're not done. We're ready to keep on pushing through.
Was this thing last year, you know, with first year for your head coach, were you looking at, you know, you guys only won 2 games. This year you've already got 2. Are you surprised, or is this something you knew could happen?
I'm really not surprised. I knew with the leadership that we had coming up from last year that we could do anything that we wanted to set our minds to.
You know, there's always, obviously every game is an important game, but there's also those rivalries in your schedule. Mm-hmm. I'm curious, as a senior, is it the Grayson County game that kind of gets your blood going a little bit, or is there another team that, you know, is a stronger rival for you?
Of course, we're always excited to play Grayson County, but that's our number 1 rival this year is probably going to be Evanston County.
Yeah.
All right, well, Clay, we appreciate you stopping by and joining us today on the Sports Connection. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, well, stay tuned. We'll be right back to wrap things up. You're watching the Sports Connection.